A local teacher at the Ron Clark Academy receives a huge honor, an induction into the National Teachers Hall of Fame. And today we have Dr. Valeria Camille Jones Ford, an educator at Atlanta's Ron Clark Academy and a new inductee into the National Teachers Hall of Fame. Thank you for being here and congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
What a huge honor. When did this happen? Just recently, right?
Yeah, it was Friday. Friday was the induction ceremony, but we spent the whole week in Emporia, Kansas. It was so fantastic.
All right, now this doesn't happen all the time, especially here in Atlanta, especially for Georgia. You are just the second educator from Atlanta, the fourth from the state of Georgia to be inducted. You're also the sixth Black woman to be inducted into the National Educator Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you?
It means so much. Honestly, this whole thing has been surreal, right? And I think that I'm really trying to make sure that I represent so well, especially for Georgia. You mentioned that I was the second one from Atlanta.
Yes.
The first one was Kim Bearden, who happens to be the founder of Ron Clark Academy, where I teach. So to be able to be with her in that role has been fantastic. But this recognition means more than just Atlanta, right? It means that it's shining a light to educators everywhere, and I'm so proud to be a part of that.
Well, we love our teachers, and you are the head of the mathematics department at Ron Clark. Talk to us about the way that you use music and gaming in your teaching curriculum and instructions. How does that work?
Okay, so I firmly believe that you have to find ways to connect with students, right? So I teach math by whatever means necessary. So I find out what they're interested in, whether it's virtual reality, whether it's games, whether it's Marvel. And I might dress up as a Marvel character and teach the standards using that medium. Because if you can figure out a way to help them connect to the material, they'll retain it and they'll want to learn more. And
they're going to remember you too. I mean, I remember teachers that sort of stepped outside the box and did something a little bit different. I don't know that I ever had anybody dress up like a superhero, but still, that is something that those kids are going to remember forever. You said in your acceptance speech that earlier in your career, you focused on helping students master content. You said, now I understand that real mastery begins with connection and confidence. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I think that building relationships is key. If someone really respects and loves being around another person, they're going to want to learn what they give them. And so what we do at Ron Clark Academy is we try to build those relationships with our students. That way we can form those bonds. And I love the students I've mentored. I love the connection I have with them. In fact, at the National Hall of Fame, my case, the foundation is all the students that I've taught in the Atlanta public school system and at Ron Clark Academy all throughout the case. It's the foundation of the case.
You've been doing this for a little while. You've seen some major changes. We just had a story about cursive instruction being reintroduced into the classroom. That's something that seems to have gone by the wayside for, at least for my kids anyway. You've seen other changes as well. I mean, of course, technology and the changes that has brought to the classroom. COVID, which kids had to deal with a few years back. Talk to us about what has been the biggest change that you've seen over the last 25 years and what has stayed the same?
So I think the biggest change, honestly, has been technology. I think starting off with the calculator, right? And then moving on to using these websites and these other tools, and now virtual reality and AR being in the classroom. I think that's the biggest evolution that I've seen. And things that have stayed the same is the relationships. You know, building the relationships, the connections, the games, the activities, that has been the same. I think that it's important for educators and people alike to be constant learners and adapt to change. I always say, anticipate the variable. And I feel like that's what it is. You're anticipating what's coming and figuring out how to embed that into education to start a revolution for what can happen.
We try to do that in the newsroom too, sort of expect the unexpected and be ready for anything.
Yes.
Dr. Valeria Camille Jones Ford, thank you so much for being here and congratulations
on this
honor. It is great. And of course, if you missed any of this interview or would like any more information, you can find that on the free Atlanta News First app and website.